Why is there never any lobbies in this game? You could never find a fucking multiplayer game in this. Let's change the region. Pick the best region. Canada. What's that? USA East? So this, it says multiplayer, but there isn't any. It says multiplayer, but there is no multiplayer. Nope. Ain't no multiplayer. And if you host the game, nobody will show up. So I don't know. But
has two energon blasters embedded in his arms, an energon shield, a plasma gun, and rockets on his wrists. Lockdown is neither a Decepticon nor an Autobot. He is a hired mercenary who never fails once set on a mission. Even the Decepticons are afraid of Lockdown. At the beginning of the Transformers Age of Extinction, Lockdown ruthlessly kills Autobot Ratchet after he denied revealing Prime's location. The creators tasked him to find Optimus Prime and bring him alive. He was fed up with the Autobots and the Decepticons for their never-ending battle, and so he formed an alliance with the human organization Cemetery Wind, who were on their mission to hunt down every single Cybertronian residing on Earth. Lockdown was once a Decepticon, and he was left behind out of fear of betrayal. Lockdown is a ruthless bounty hunter who has no sympathy for anyone. Lockdown is loaded with a wide range of heavy Cybertronian artillery. He has a head-mount cannon, shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, arm blasters, arm swords, a spark extractor, grenades, and a shield. In his vehicle mode, he transforms into a Lamborghini Aventador. Lockdown is neither from the Decepticons nor the Autobots. Autobot's resident weapons specialist and Optimus Prime's old friend, Ironhide, is one of the most consistent members of the Autobots, appearing in all of the Transformer movies. Unlike his friend Optimus, Ironhide is more practical and does not hold back in a fight. He is more than a little trigger-happy and has enough replacement parts capable of building a small army. Ironhide is willing to push all limits to get the job done when it comes to taking down the evil Decepticons. Ironhide is one of the oldest Autobots and is a bank of war tactics and combat strategies. Optimus often consults him during fights. He is heavily armored with artillery equivalent to a military facility of a small country. His battle experiences can be made from his scarred paint and chrome chipped by shrapnel. He can transform into a modified GMC Topkick C4500 pickup truck, and he has the ability to transmute his body into an almost impenetrable metal. He is one of the big guns for the Autobots and will fight for as long as he has ammunition to take down Decepticons. Hound was a highly skilled Autobot commando and a technical specialist. He was the second in command of the Autobots in Transformer Age of Extinction, and also became the new medical officer after Ratchet got killed by Lockdown. Hound had a flair for warfare, and there was almost no mission he would hesitate to take part in. Hound is a skilled gunman and had a wide list of heavy weaponry. He can transform into a modified version of Oshkosh Defense Medium Tactical Vehicle, and with a list of artillery and his love for war, he is a tough Cybertronian to take down. His list of weapons includes a handheld machine gun, a large cannon, an iron gun, 2 quad guns, a pentagon cannon, a triple-barreled machine gun, a harpoon, double and triple-barreled guns, grenades, and a knife. Grimlock is a Dinobot, a section of the Autobots who took the appearance of dinosaurs on Earth. As shown in the Transformers Age of Extinction, the Dinobots, referred to as Legendary Knights, were imprisoned by Lockdown. They were later freed by Optimus and asked for assistance in the battle against Galvatron, which they accepted, but only after Grimlock took a small fight with Optimus. With the Dinobots, Autobots gained the upper hand in the fight and defeated Galvatron. Autobots, we charge together! Grimlock is a powerful and ancient warrior, taking the form of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He was amongst the Legendary Knights, as mentioned by Lockdown. Grimlock is capable of causing havoc for his opponents.
Becker and Linden. You gotta go down the driveway on Linden, hop the fence, cut the soda bottle size stalk, toss the plant over the fence, jump over the fence again, grab and run to the car.
But is not stronger than Optimus Prime. Amongst weapons, Grimlock used a spike ball, a club. When in his dinosaur mode, Grimlock used his fangs and tail as lethal weapons capable of inflicting heavy damage. He also used a flamethrower. Crosshairs. Crosshairs is an Autobot warrior who is also known as a weapons master and armorer. In pre-production, his name was supposed to be Slingshot, but later changed to...
Okay, good. If I could cut through it like butter, that's fine. Because as soon as I jump the fence and my feet touch the ground, the lights go on.
To Crosshairs. He is an excellent marksman and a notable soldier of the Autobot army. He is very calculative about the use of his ammunition and does not like missing his shots or wasting ammunition. His conservative consumption of ammo makes him last longer in battle even when his opponents are out of ammo.
Go into space. He's a little jujubee ready. Hello.
Adapting to the vehicle mode of Corvette Sting.
Hop, cut, toss, hop, run.
Gray C7, he is seen to have parachutes. He can fly and is pretty good at it, and is also good at hand-to-hand combat. He carried twin turbo guns capable of inflicting serious damage to his opponent. He usually liked taking his enemies down by surprise, and with his precision, getting the job done in the best possible way.
At last, there's hope after all.
Drift, with the ability to adapt to the vehicle mode of a 2013 Bugatti Veyron.
I'm serious, it's like the biggest plant either of us might have ever saw in real life.
And Sport Vitesse, Drift is a former Decepticon transformed into an Autobot commando. After fighting alongside the Decepticons for years, he realized that his swords serve better if used for the Autobots. Drift's unique selling point is not just his skill, but his composure. His calm and strategic methods mostly lead him to victory, despite being a part...
I'm trying to play a video game on YouTube Live to pass the time with a buddy of mine. So I'll be in touch.
The Autobots, Drift is yet to completely overcome his aggressive nature. If spooked or felt endangered, his aggression responds, and he is still prone to manic attacks.
Silly flying rat! He's very resilient.
Appearing in Transformer, Age of Extinction, and Transform...
Yeah, I didn't know. I set my shit down near the phone. Transformers. Dun 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 dun. Transformers.
After World War II, he became a close ally of Edmund Burton, who had tasked him to protect his daughter, Vivian Wembley. In the Transformers cartoon, both Hot Rod and wounded Megatron were trapped inside Unicron. In order to combat the newly evolved Megatron, aka Galvatron, Hot Rod used the Autobot matrix of leadership and evolved into Rodimus Prime. In this form, as shown in the comics, he lacked self-confidence, questioning his own decisions. Hot Rod, as derived from Hot Rodimus, is yet another tough Autobot. He is highly skilled in combat and one of the most important members of the Autobots. He has shotgun blasters and machine guns from World War II. Along with these weapons, he also had a time gun, which could create temporary temporal bubbles in which time slows down for everything within it. This weapon is shown to be an extremely important add-on for Hot Rod, as not only did it help him to fight Megatron, but also save Vivian and Cade during a high free fall. Ratchet from the Transformers cinematic universe is an Autobot medic who had joined the team to save lives and not kill. He hated violence, and in the Generator 1 series, he is shown to be a party lover.
No! Please! Hold your fire.
Voiced by Robert Foxworth, he appeared as one of the major antagonists of the 2007 Transformers movie, and was also present in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Transformers Dark of the Moon. In Transformers Age of Extinction, he was killed by the bounty hunter Lockdown for not revealing Optimus Prime's hiding location. He also appeared in Bumblebee and was voiced by Dennis Singletray. His closest comrade is RC, and they both hate Lockdown. On Earth, Ratchet adapted to the vehicle mode of a Hummer H2 search and rescue utility truck. Being the Autobot medical officer, Ratchet is highly dedicated to saving all life forms, and it is believed that every Autobot had their sparks repaired by Ratchet at least once. He is brave and does not think twice before putting his own life on the front line to save his fellow teammates. Despite having a dislike for wars, he carried beam-infused Energon machine guns, an Energon cannon, and missiles. He also had a healing laser, which he used to fix the Cybertronians, and a circular saw. Jazz was the first lieutenant of the Autobots and appeared in the 2007 Transformers film. He had a happy-go-lucky demeanor and helped provide relief from the seriousness of Prime and Ironhide. He was a talker, for which his comrades often teased him. He is one of the few Transformers whose appearance in the films is not altered from the Generation 1 animated series. In the animated series, he was the right-hand man of Optimus. stalking first and then destroying his enemies. He was disturbed after the death of Shockwave and blamed the humans and the Autobots for it. His head was also similar to Shockwave, which often questioned if he was one of the KSI versions of Decepticons. After the death of Starscream, he was assigned second in command after Megatron. Sometime after the Battle of Chicago, Nitro Zeus was captured by TRF, or Transformers Reaction Force. He was held captive until Megatron managed to kidnap 2 TRF agents and blackmail the organization into releasing Nitro and many similar Decepticons. While being held captive by the humans, he acquired all personal information about his captors. Despite disliking humans, Nitro Zeus was interactive with the humans and even adapted to the gangster attitude. He could transform into a Saab JAS-39 Gripen jet and attacked him, causing noticeable damage. Following this, he was killed by Jetfire, marking the end of the vicious Cybertronian creature. Wheelie was a sneaky Decepticon pawn who was sent to retrieve the Allspark Splinter from Michaela. However, he failed at it as Michaela caught sight of him and locked him up. Being caught, he revealed that he is afraid to return without the Splinter, as Soundwave would have killed him. Later, after witnessing Jetfire's redemption for Autobots, he switched sides and became an ally for the Autobots and the humans. Wheelie appeared in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, and The Last Night, where he is shown to have a big mouth. Wheelie could transform into a miniature version of the R.C. Ford F-Series monster truck. Wheelie was the third Transformer to have wheels instead of feet after Sideswipe and Bone Crusher. Brawl, or Devastator. As mentioned earlier, Devastator was a giant Decepticon combiner made up of Constructicons, Mixmaster, Overload, Hightower, Scrap Metal, Scrapper, Longhaul, Skipjack, and Scavenger. He appeared in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen during the Battle of Egypt. After all the Constructicons combined to form Devastator, it soon started inflicting its wrath by creating powerful gravity wells, sucking in everything like a black hole. He did it with the help of his vortex grinder in the mouth. He tried sucking in Mudflap and Skids, but failed, after which Megatron ordered him to climb the Great Pyramid of Giza and unveil the Star Harvester. However, he was unsuccessful, because Simmons had sent his coordinates to the US Kid Force, at which they fired the experimental railgun. The shot was on point and managed to destroy Devastator.
Drop to like.
Devastator served as one of the most lethal forces of Megatron. Devastator had multiple missile launchers, guns, rocket launchers, and 3 grappling hooks. His most powerful attack was through his vortex grinder, which could suck anything and everything around him.
Come on, Simmer, you said no work today. Let's get your pale-ass legs and go to the beach. You always say 5 minutes.
Topspin. Topspin is a part of the elite Autobot forces known as the Wreckers, who participated in the Battle of Chicago. He is the second in command after Leadfoot and...
What game is this?
Read the video description. Read the name of the video.
Never knew.
Read the name of the video.
Just read the title. This game looks old.
So out of all the hundreds of people I played video games with on the PS4, 5, and 3, you're one of the only people that don't understand the concept of retro game. Retro, do you understand? This game just came out a few days ago. It's a retro-themed game. Does anybody understand what that means? Google that. Go to Google and type in this word. Retro-themed game. Duh. Of course it's gonna look old. Jesus Christ, come on, for the love of God, man.
PS3 game. This game is on Nintendo 64.
If it is, it must be a different version. And it must not have no online multiplayer. This game's got online multiplayer, but nobody knows about this game, so there's no lobbies. If somebody else were to buy this game, there'd be an online lobby, because I wouldn't be the only one playing it. This is 2-player deathmatch, multiplayer. It's like Duke Nukem. Look up what a boomer shooter is. Let me spell that for you. BOOMER SHOOTER. Now when you go to Google, make sure you ask them what that is. And then after you get taught, after they teach you and you get taught, come on back.
Savage obtained the Allspark shard, Scalpel completed the intricate process to revive Megatron. After examining his condition, Scalpel explained that he needed spare parts, after which they looked at scrap metal and killed him to obtain his parts. Later, when Megatron captured Sam, Scalpel was summoned to extract information. The Autobots arrived on time to save Sam, and then Scalpel was not seen. Trench. Trench was an Autobot who appeared during the early minutes of the film Transformers: The Last Night. He remained hidden in Kane Yeager's scrapyard, and later, when the TRF and Decepticons discovered their refuge and attacked, he transformed into Caterpillar 3 excavator and tried holding them back along with Hound, buying time for the remaining Autobots to escape. He was not seen later in the film. He carried a shovel and at times used it as a weapon. He also had claws and missiles for fights. Dreadbot. Dreadbot was one of the Decepticons who Megatron freed after blackmailing TRF. He was a monstrous hooligan, usually transformed into Christmas lights. He was arrested by the TRF after he tried robbing a bank, leaving 9 dead and money untouched. During the fight in Hong Kong, Dreadbot was eaten by the mighty Dinobot Grimlock. Hightower. Hightower was a Constructicon who appeared in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. He had adapted to the appearance of a gigantic Kobelco crawler crane, and when combined with the other Constructicons, he formed the left arm of the Devastator. Like the other Constructicons, he too shared a similar fate after US Kid Force's railgun shot
What game is
Devastator.
this?
The Lieutenant,
Nevermind.
appearing in
Just
Transformers:
read
The
the
Last
title.
Night,
This
Lieutenant was a
game
tweaked
looks old.
version of Jetfire.
PS3
He was
game.
one of the several
This
elderly
game is on
Transformers who
Nintendo
lived under the
64.
care of Edmund Burton and Cogman. He defended the castle when the TRF attacked. He carried blasters transformed into a Supermarine Spitfire fighter plane. Nokia Bot. In the 2007 Transformers film, when Sector 7 was conducting their research on the Allspark, they used Glenn Whitman's Nokia 933i to test the nature of the cube's capability. The cube gave life to the phone and transformed it into a walking bot known as Nokia Bot. Once granted life, the bot started acting crazy, shooting and going mad. Luckily, it was contained in the same chambers, and someone managed
I don't play the same game over and over and over again. That's not what I do. I always try new things. Right now I'm trying Death Burst, Century Age of Dragons, and Prodeus. Maybe around October 15th or October 25th, I'll start playing Evil Dead every night until Halloween. Why don't you play Dead by Daylight? Why don't you live stream Dead by Daylight as the killer? I'm playing one of the most violentest games I could find. Look, it's like I'm trapped in hell. Look, look, those are Hell's minions right there. Don't get much more Halloween than that. Look, blew his brains out. Guts on the wall. Guts on the wall. I'm about to make a cereal and call the cereal Guts on the Wall. You ever had Guts on the Wall? It's the new cereal. Turns the milk red. Guts on the Wall.
To them, Mammon asks her about the Redeemer, to which Tiffany tells him that he will be attending the meeting as well, and that nobody suspects anything. When asked about Spawn X, Cygor informs Mammon how he, along with his wife and child, are currently at the local zoo as planned. With Cygor further spying on the trio using his cybernetic eye, the readers get to see Al Simmons, Wanda, and Cian enjoying themselves at a zoo in San Diego. We learn from Cygor that the trio are about to reach the primate paddock within the next 12 minutes, post which things will go as per Cygor's plans. Speaking of overkill, he is the one in charge of the stone. The villainous forces are ready to strike the first blow in what may well be the final battle for the ultimate fate of not just this, but every other reality. Meanwhile, in New York, a local news reporter, Matt Novak, is seen going live in front of the New York Museum of History, Science and Art. He is talking about an upcoming all-new art exhibit titled Artifacts from Forgotten Realms, one that will have on display rare and never-seen-before relics from throughout history, when a mysterious-looking bright object falling from the sky comes into view and is seen causing a massive explosion. The blast is strong enough to hurl the reporter backwards, with Matt gaining back his consciousness and trying to communicate back with the broadcasting channel. He is beyond shocked to see a huge human-like thing appear in front of him. No points for guessing, it is Overkill, who is here for the stone. Speaking of Al Simmons, we finally get to see him enjoying himself with his family at the zoo, unaware of the attack in New York City. It is a rare sight, if you ask us, because to witness Al Simmons enjoying a peaceful day without getting attacked by his rogues gallery is not something that you get to see every day. With the family eventually heading towards the part where the monkeys are exhibited, Al is taken back a little to see the mammals looking at his family in an aggressive manner. The readers are next taken someplace high above the planet Earth on the orbital space station Satellite X. We find Omega Spawn working on his new collection of robots, one that he addresses as the Omega Squadron. We also get to see the Redeemer, who is seen to leave for an emergency meeting called by the Council of Light. With Omega asking the Redeemer if he should relay the information to Al, Redeemer tells him that it is a good idea before teleporting away. However, as Omega Spawn tries to send across the message, an alert goes off at the station. While he does get to know about the situation in New York, an electric hum buzzes through the air that signals the activation of the jump engine, and he gets ambushed by a horde of plague demons. As for the Redeemer, he is seen arriving at the hallowed hall only to find his former lover Tiffany around, who has butchered everybody there. The Redeemer is way too shocked and even beyond when he finds Mammon there. The Dark Lord tells the Redeemer that he simply wanted the latter to see him standing in the very place that is considered the most sacred. Mammon, before leaving, tells Tiffany to take care of the Redeemer, and the duo engage themselves in an intense battle. It is also around the same time that Overkill is able to lay his hands on the Awakening Stone in New York. But those of you who are unaware of the magical properties of this artifact, it is capable of healing people as well as raising the dead. We find the NYPD arriving on the scene and telling Overkill to freeze, only for the latter to activate the buzzsaw on his arm and tell the officers to run. Speaking of the San Diego Zoo, things don't look that great there either. The vicious monkeys are seen simply breaking out of their cages and targeting Al and his family. Al tells Wanda and Cyan to get to the safe house post where he is attacked by the monkeys. Of course, he is left with no other option but to transform into Spawn X and incapacitate the monkeys one after the other. But that is until he gets ambushed by Cygor from behind. As far as things are concerned on Satellite X, Omega Spawn is bound to activate his Omega Squadron in order to help him fight the Plague Demons. Next, he initiates Vacuum Protocol and commands his squadron to power up their zero-gravity plates. The plan is to bust out the window and suck out everyone into the space. As he heads towards Earth, he asks his squadron to clean up the mess for him, make use of their targeting system to locate the remaining Plague Demons, and at the same time, send his location to Al and the Redeemer right after the jump engine is back up running. Next set of descriptive panels, a fierce battle between Redeemer and Tiffany is seen taking place. With Tiffany asking him to join her, the Redeemer refuses her offer, and that leads to the former lover stabbing the Redeemer in the side with a knife. In the meantime, back at the zoo, Spawn X and Cygor are fiercely at each other's throats. The former is furious at the latter, telling him how it is the same old process every single time. So far, every single battle between the two and the other by science and metal. The aim remains the same. Both are willing to go to every extent to bring the other down to his knees. As for Omega Spawn, he is seen arriving in New York precisely when down. It is around the same time that the jump engine system starts functioning, as a result of which has Spawn X and the Redeemer teleported all of a sudden from their respective battles and drawn to Omega Spawn's location. With the duo reaching New York, Omega Spawn fills them in about another relic being located and how Mammon has sent his forces to retrieve it. With Redeemer and Spawn X revealing about their respective battles against Cygor and Tiffany to Omega Spawn, the trio starts smelling a thick stench of brimstone in the air, post which Mammon and his henchmen appear in front of them. No points for guessing, the two sides gear themselves up for the ultimate battle of good versus evil. Spawn X is sure of one thing: there is no way that he will allow Mammon to leave with that stone. As for Mammon, he has a basic task for Overkill, Tiffany, and Cygor. The nefarious trio is supposed to keep the do-gooders busy long enough for one of Mammon's minions to secure the stone for him. The Dark Lord is ready to reward his trio with powers they cannot even imagine in the first place. Coming to the demons, the one who will be placing the stone in his hand, to him he will be granting an instant promotion, the rank of Terror Demon. Sensing trouble, Omega Spawn is seen firing his servo-proton blaster cannon that he fondly addresses as the Omega Cannon. Tiffany promises to return the pain that the Redeemer had caused her, only tenfold this time. Spawn X is seen asking Omega Spawn to activate his Omega Squadron, and we learn that the robots are expected to arrive at their location in less than 2 minutes. The battle between the two teams reaches an all-new high, and there comes a moment when the Plague Demons are almost in possession of the stone. While Spawn X is able to fire a necroplasmic blast at the demons, Cygor grabs one of his legs and violently brings him down while smashing him with his gigantic fists. Cygor has big plans for Spawn X. He wants to remove the symbiotic suit from the latter's rotting corpse and take it as his own. It dawns upon Spawn X that things are indeed getting out of his hands. However, with the arrival of the Omega Squadron, Spawn X comes up with an idea. He tells Omega Spawn to uplink with the satellite, initiate R-Factor Protocol 7, and aim at Mammon and the Plague Demons. Omega Spawn perimeter around the relic and to keep Mammon's demons away from that stone. The Redeemer is seen launching an attack on Cygor, and Omega Spawn is seen charging at Tiffany. As for Spawn X, he fires a necroplasmic blast at Overkill with full force and manages to sever Overkill's head from his body. But by then, Mammon is already seen to have the sacred stone in his possession. He tells his minions to keep the heroes busy while he attends to his business. As the vicious demons are seen sinking their razor-sharp teeth and claws into the flesh of Spawn X, Mammon mocks at him, stating that he is too late to do anything now, as he begins to use the stone to unleash the hordes of Limbo upon all reality. Spawn X, using every bit of his remaining strength, fires another powerful blast at the Dark Lord and manages to take away the stone from him. With him attempting to move away as far as he can from Mammon with the stone, the latter catches up with him and takes away the stone from him again. Mammon calls him a disgrace to the mantle of the Lord, and because the latter had refused to accept the full power of the Necrostone so far, he decides to relieve him of his burden. With the Dark Lord reaching into Spawn X's chest to pull out his Necrostone, the latter starts feeling an excruciating level of pain. For Mammon, it's 2 relics for the price of 1, and he decides to use both stones in order to release unholy destruction on a scale that one can't even imagine. He states how now Voltaire will be free and that the world of light will finally end up crumbling and fading to memory. Next, the readers can make out that the K7 Letha is giving away, but our hero is still not ready to let darkness achieve victory. With great difficulty and concentration, he is able to draw the full power of the Super Suit to his left fist and delivers a punch of a lifetime to Mammon. Next, he is seen asking Omega Spawn about the status of the R-Factor. We learn that the calibration will be complete in about 4 seconds, and Spawn X asks him to hit on his mark. With Mammon seen to escape, Spawn X hits another blast at him and asks Omega Spawn to hit the target. A loud explosion occurs. We learn from the trio of Spawn X, Redeemer, and Omega Spawn that the R-Factor protocol was successful in managing to delay the inevitable, and that Mammon is still out there. As a result of the R-Factor, a rapid sequence of teleportation jumps was ambiguously lined out by calculating courses through randomly chosen dimensions and galaxies. This led to the target, and in this case, Mammon, bouncing in and out of space as well as time at a speed which is faster than light. So technically speaking, the Dark Lord is far, far away from Earth. Tiffany and Cygor are taken into custody, and as far as the 13 relics of ruin are concerned, they are placed under the special care of our superheroes. Theoretically speaking, it is a win no matter how one chooses to look at it, but having said that, there is a high probability that this attempt at multi-dimensional domination is only the beginning of something way bigger and worse. Sincerely hoping that Spawn X is wrong here. With this, we have come to the very end of our video here. Do hit us with your thoughts in the comment section. Also, stay tuned with us for more interesting content on Spawn. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone. Superpowered Weapon X's experiments, backstories explored. The Weapon X program is one of the most pivotal events in the Marvel Universe, being mentioned several times, finally being showcased in 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine. Created by writer Len Wein and artist John Romita Sr., Weapon X was a secret government genetic research project which weaponized willing or unwilling beings, mostly mutants. Itself in the shadows, the nefarious organization conducted brutal experiments on mutants. The outcomes were not always favorable, as most subjects escaped or turned against them. But they did make some of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. We all know how Wolverine's adamantium upgrade made him an unstoppable force. But there are many more like him. Today's video will explore every superpowered Weapon X's experiments. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What is Weapon X experiment? The code name Weapon X was first mentioned in the Incredible Hulk comics issue 180 in 1974. It was associated with Wolverine, who also made his first appearance in the issue. It was the code name for a secret US government project that sought to deliberately experiment and induce super abilities in their subjects to weaponize them for their military purposes. They even tampered with their subjects' memories and fabricated them according to their whims. The X serves more as a Roman numeral, as Weapon X was the 10th installment of an older program known as the Weapon Plus program. The program was started by the US government in 1945 after a civilian advisor, Professor Thornton, discovered the secret laboratory of Dr. Nathaniel Essex in a Nazi concentration camp. They began their experiments with the primary purpose of producing super soldiers for World War II, and their first successful project was Project Rebirth, which gave birth to Captain America. Later it was renamed as the Weapon Plus program. Going by the Roman numeral, Project Rebirth was rebranded to Weapon 1. Following this, there were several attempts to create another perfect super soldier, but without any success. Criminal masterminds Romulus, who had been penetrating his influences within the CIA, goaded them to sponsor the 10th incarnation of the program, named Weapon X. However, instead of creating super soldiers, Weapon X involved reconstructing the DNA of their subjects to enhance their powers or create new ones. The entire procedure was controlled and guided by Professor Thornton. Thornton then recruited former FBI scientist Abraham Cornelius and former NASA operative Carol Hines and ordered them to begin their experiment with their first test subject, Logan. Logan was then serving the Canadian government's Department K and Team X and was chosen owing to his quick healing capabilities. They also managed to tap into Logan's memories and learn more about his life events. After projecting his thoughts onto a screen, they witnessed his rivalry with Sabretooth and how he had once killed his beloved Silver Fox on his birthday. They recruited Sabretooth, aka Victor Creed, Sergeant David North, aka Maverick, John Wraith, Mastodon, and Silver Fox, who was a clone created by CIA or Romulus. Thornton prepared a warehouse in Ontario where they choreographed and recorded elaborate scenarios to implant into Wolverine's mind. Thornton then got hold of a mutant with psychic powers named Aldo and made him implant their recorded memories into Wolverine's mind. However, even with all that effort, they failed to restrain Wolverine, who, after the experiment, went berserk and escaped the Department K facility, slaughtering Dr. Dale Rice and a large number of staff and soldiers who tried to stop him. The disaster stopped the program and temporarily placed it under the coverage of the US Department of Agriculture's Pest Control Section, with Thornton as its director. The heads of Weapon Plus decided to terminate the Weapon X program, but Thornton, after being informed by his assistant, John Sublime, managed to break off the Weapon X program from Weapon Plus and was funded by the US Agricultural Department. They managed to obtain Wolverine's DNA samples and used it to provide healing abilities to their new test subjects. Wolverine was the first test subject for Weapon X, and the entire concept of this evil organization was introduced with him. Throughout different forms of media, it has been shown how adamantium was infused in his endoskeleton. This was one of the most significant events for the shaping of Wolverine's future. In the 2009 animated mini-movie Hulk vs. Wolverine, a flashback showcased how Logan was abducted by Professor Thornton and experimented on. The story begins with a drunk Wolverine leaving a bar. Unbeknownst to him, he was being followed by a man in glasses and his two henchmen, who appeared out of nowhere and knocked him down. They dragged him into a van, and the man with glasses informed someone over the phone to prepare the lab, as slowly arriving with their test subjects. These then seemed to be experimented upon in a fluid-filled glass cylinder. The man with glasses referred to as Professor who ordered the adamantium bonding process to begin. As it began, blood started gushing out from every hole of Wolverine's body, while he screamed in pain. After completing the procedure, he was seen to wake up in a cell where, by himself, and 6 metal claws tore their way out of his wrist. The professor and his team tested him by sending him to encounter a wild polar bear. He was again knocked out and taken in for further research when he finally escaped after massacring every staff member trying to stop him. In the comics, things happened a bit differently. Wolverine, who was serving Team X, quit to join Department K, a secret Canadian Defense Ministry branch in affiliation with Weapon X. There, he partnered with Neil Langram and worked with Nick Fury, then a high-ranking CIA agent, and Richard and Mary Parker. After the assassination of Neil Langram and Sabretooth, Wolverine joined a young US spy, Carl Danvers, to infiltrate the Canadian Ministry of Defense. Several new secrets were revealed, primarily his name being on the list of several names under the title The Mutant Agenda. Upon further digging, they learned about the existence of genetically modified beings called mutants, and finally faced Sabretooth in a Canadian Hellfire Club facility. They got into a fight, and Sabretooth revealed that Wolverine too was a mutant before exploding the entire facility. Brotherhood of Evil in their mission to take down Team X-Force. Later, Pfizer was killed by Deadpool. Created by Rick Remender and Victor Genie, Pfizer the Skinless Man made his first full appearance in Uncanny X-Force issue 21. Pfizer's primary source of power was his skin, which was elastic, durable, and possessed multiple senses. After being modified by the Weapon Plus program, his skin's strength and durability got tremendously enhanced. He later channeled his mutant abilities to teach his muscles how to expand and contract at a molecular level. Weapon 4, Man-Thing. Dr. Theodore Ted Sallis, who later became the Man-Thing, was a professor of biochemistry at Empire State University. The United States Army later recruited him in their Project Sulphur, which aimed at providing their soldiers immunity. Sallis developed the SO2 serum, which could make subjects immune to was proven unstable as it transformed the tested subjects into monsters. Meanwhile, Sallis fell in love with one of his students named Ellen Brandt, and the two eloped following a secret affair. Sallis needed to shift his research to some secluded area, so they moved to Everglades. He was then assigned to a SHIELD research program codenamed Project Gladiator in Everglades, Florida. While Sallis engrossed himself to his research and neglected Ellen since their honeymoon, the subversive organization, Advanced Idea Mechanics, or AIM, manipulated a bitter Ellen and conspired to steal Sallis' modified serum. After completing his work, Sallis memorized the entire formula and deleted all existing documents. The name led Ted into an AIM ambush, which he escaped and injected himself with the last dose of his formula. He attempted to reach Dr. Kurt. To make sim soldiers. This assignment was named Project Venom and Weapon 5 as the fifth installment of the Weapon Plus program. Back in 1965, SHIELD had discovered an alien dragon made of living darkness in a glacier. They codenamed it Grendel and learned that it could bond with host organisms to create predatory monsters. Under pressure of the government, SHIELD, led by Nick Fury, initiated a symbiote super soldier program in 1966 and field tested it during the Vietnam War with disastrous results. Following this, SHIELD shut down their experiments, but Weapon Plus managed to take it over and named it Weapon 5, or Project Venom. For a few decades, Weapon Plus monitored other government-aided sim soldier programs such as Project Rebirth 2.0 and the Mercury team, and tried implementing their research and technology. They inferred that the previous sim soldier prototypes were corrupted by the symbiote hive mind and planned on creating suits of bio-armor, virally altered to be free from all contamination. Meanwhile, the vicious dragon codenamed Grendel awakened and attacked Manhattan, following which Carnage attacked Weapon 5 headquarters. Carnage had bonded with a sample of the Grendel symbiote, which made him extremely powerful. He slaughtered most of the staff with only the Mars team, led by Robert Urquhart, escaping and surviving. To seek revenge, he forcefully initiated Weapon H, but the head of Weapon 5's research and development went insane and sabotaged their fight against Carnage, resulting in the death of everyone. In the aftermath, Weapon 5 remained shut until the threat of Carnage passed away and later restarted with Dr. Randall Pierce as its new head. The Weapon 5 subjects were bonded with samples of Grendel, creating sim suits with which they could manifest claws, fangs, spikes, tendrils, and even blades. Weapon 6, Luke Cage. Created by Archie Goodwin, John Romita Sr. and George Tusker, Luke Cage is one of the most recognizable superheroes in the Marvel Universe. He was born to Esther and James Lucas in the district of Harlem, New York, and named Carl Lucas. As a teenager, he spent his life causing trouble on the streets with his friends Willis Stryker and Trevor Connors. He even joined a gang named the Rivals with Stryker and fought the Diabolos. Eventually, he committed petty crimes like stealing for the deformed crime lord Sonny Caputo, aka Hammer. Meanwhile, Reva had a relationship with Stryker. When she ended the relationship for Lucas, Stryker framed Lucas by planting heroin stolen from Cottonmouth's organization at his place and informed the cops. Lucas was then arrested and taken to Seagate prison. Meanwhile, the Weapon X program under Vietnam War veteran Noah Burstein achieved notable success with their experiment on Mitchell Tanner, aka Warhawk, and planned to continue their experiments on the inmates of Seagate prison. They experimented on Lucas and gave him a considerable amount of enhanced strength and durability. Still, being a wanted man, Lucas took the new name Luke Cage and started his career as hero for hire, where he helped anyone who paid the price for it. Being enhanced, his body's cellular regeneration rate increased rapidly, giving him enormous strength. He could lift up to 25 tons and lunge through 4-inch steel plates. His body became as strong as titanium, making him nigh invulnerable. He was an expert combatant and also possessed an accelerated healing factor. Weapon upgrade. Adam. Appearing in Wolverine and Captain America, Weapon Plus Issue 1, Adam was a Captain America fanatic. During the period of time when Captain America was frozen in ice, the world knew that he was dead, but Adam believed him to be alive. He wore an imitation costume of Captain America and roamed across the streets where he often got bullied. Later, Adam was taken in by Dr. Younger as a subject for the Weapon Plus program. Dr. Younger made him a super soldier and brainwashed him into believing that he was the real Captain America. He planted a mind control device in him through which he gave instructions. Adam considered it as the voice of God. Towards the end of the issue, he confronted Captain America and Wolverine and gave them a tough fight. He even possessed Wolverine's regenerative healing factor. However, to maintain the secrecy of the location, Dr. Younger instructed Adam to explode the lab in which he died as well. Weapon 7. Frank Simpson. Frank Simpson was the mentally disturbed son of a rich, abusive, alcoholic, upper-class woman in Ohio. Owing to a lack of maternal love, he developed an unhealthy attraction for his babysitter who had feelings for his father, Charles. The young babysitter manipulated young Frank into killing his mother to get a pass for his father. Frank eventually got kidnapped by Wolverine, who was then working for Weapon X. Wolverine showed up and shot the babysitter, following which Charles committed suicide. Frank was abducted by Logan for the new Weapon X program, Project Homegrown. Years later, he was working as a Black Ops agent in the Vietnam War, where he got captured by the Vietcong and tortured severely. Logan implanted the phrase "No VC" as a trigger word that would make Frank crazy and make him attack viciously as a response to the tortures he suffered. To test him, Logan released him upon a village of peasants. The peasants tried soothing Frank's anger by uttering "No VC," meaning they are not Vietcong, but this goes bizarre as Frank kills everyone ruthlessly and burns down the entire village. Later, in the final phase of the Weapon 7 program, Frank was installed with a second heart and a subdermal mesh to deflect weapons. He became a partial cyborg and even got addicted to adrenaline pill, which helped him control his rage. The outcomes of Project Homegrown had a devastating effect on Frank's mind, but it did give him some badass powers. His bones were replaced with advanced cybernetic components, which gave him enormous strength and durability. He also possessed a healing factor, owing to his accelerated metabolism. He did have schizophrenia, but he became a savage fighter, good with all sorts of firearms and an excellent hand-to-hand combatant. Weapon 8. The products of Weapon 8 are yet to be introduced in the comics, but it is perhaps the most mysterious of the Weapon Plus program. It seemed like Weapon 8 served as a host of enhanced assassins and sleeper agents to assist Super Sentinels like Phantom X and Ultimatum. They were controlled with extreme usage of drugs and hypnosis. It was teased in Grant Morrison and Chris Bachalo's new X-Men comics issue 145. Weapon 9, Typhoid Mary. Created by Ann Nocenti and John Romita Jr., Mary Walker was a meek, sweet girl with 3 other alter egos, Typhoid Mary being one of them. Her parents disagreed upon giving her birth, and it seemed later that her father didn't want her. He frequently molested her until a different person